I thought I'll never review another movie, but this movie was so bad, so bad, so bad that I had to make this video. How bad was this movie? It is worse than Ant-Man 3, worse than Eternals, worse than Black Adam, worse than anything you have seen in MCU Phase 4. It is so bad that Justice League, the original version, looks good. I'd rather watch Superman 4 than watch this again. Even if I give any spoiler, doesn't matter, because they have shown everything in the trailers, and if I say anything which is not in the trailer, doesn't matter. It does not make the movie any better. On the contrary, I'm doing a good deed. I'm saving your money and precious time. Let me say this before you accuse me of favoritism. I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder. I really loved Man of Steel. I like Batman v Superman, except the Lex Luthor and the ending. Other than that, I don't really like any of his movies, not even 300. I believe his vision destroyed DCEU. I really like Guardian of the Galaxy 1, 2 and 3. And I expected, if not the best, but a good version of Superman movie. But what James Gunn did was deliver this shit. The reason why DCU failed was because they did not make the standalone superhero movies like the MCU did very well. They did not explain the backstory to the audience, and the audience could not relate to these characters. They did not have the fan following. That's why when Justice League was made, the audience did not know who these characters were, and they did not connect with the movie. The audience need to know the characters even if the introduction is brief. Superman's birth parents had such insignificant role that it was laughable. Bradley Cooper playing Zor-El must be the easiest money he has ever made. The role of Superman's adopted parents were given to elderly actors. The bonding between Superman and his parents seemed very artificial. None of the metahuman characters had backstory. They were introduced as James Gunn pleased. Where did Hawkgirl and Mr. Fantastic came from? No one knows. How did they get the power? Why did Guy Gardner, Green Lantern and these two form this alliance? No one knows. Who is Green Lantern? It wasn't explained. The director surprisingly expected everyone to know these characters. In this universe, people are used to metahumans, aliens. Even if monsters attack their city, the people seemed so calm, which looked really unrealistic. Maybe because James Gunn has cancelled so many DCU projects that he wanted to compensate and include everything in this one movie. The previous DC movies used to be slow and dark. This movie he made super fast and bright. It was so fast paced. When you finish watching this movie, you'll feel like there was a first part, second part, third part, but the director chose not to make them and go straight to the fourth installment and skip to the second half of the movie. First half was already over before the movie started. The Lex Luthor of this movie seemed to know everything and seemed to own everything. The conveniently with which he found the Fortress of Solitude in the beginning of this movie was mind-numbing. The Fortress of Solitude is supposed to be the secret place of Superman, like the Batcave is for Batman. How did he get hold of this out of this world technology? No one knows. He seemed to have super genius brain. He built pocket black holes. He reached other dimensions. He somehow connected with other aliens and used them as his henchmen. Basically, Thanos level of power and technology possessed by a normal human being. This was too much to digest. Okay, the actor played the role better than Jesse Eisenberg, but not every bald person can be Lex Luthor. They are better Lex Luthor. The body language of this younger version of Lex Luthor wasn't very convincing, wasn't menacing and cunning, wasn't cold-hearted enough. He just seemed like every other villain, but not Lex Luthor. Just like Jared Leto did not look like Joker. Lois Lane, another important character who is known for being a very strong-minded, very independent, was stripped down in this movie to become a very normal, soapish character. The actress who played this character has such great acting skill, but she wasn't given a good important role to play. This Lois Lane could not investigate on her own. All she did was ask help from other superheroes. She did not contribute anything to this movie other than being the love interest of Superman. The one common thing I hate about this movie and Man of Steel is that Lois Lane knows the true identity of Superman. This just kills the chemistry between Lois Lane and Clark Kent and Superman. There were just too many convenient quick fixes in this movie. Lois Lane suddenly knows how to fly a flying saucer. Mr. Terrific knows everything about everything and always at the right place at the right time. They could have named this movie Mr. Terrific because he clearly had better scenes than Superman. In fact, every other superhero, Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl, Green Lantern, Metamorpho had better scenes than Superman. This was the worst and the weakest Superman ever been portrayed on silver screen. He looked like the good, softer version of Homelander. He gets affected by social media. He gets affected by mean tweets. He fights with his girlfriend, who is Lois Lane. He was not at all inspiring. In this scene, he relaxes, has a hot chocolate, while other superheroes were fighting an alien. He brushes this problem as not being a big deal. Superman is a person who is beyond his powers, has a strong moral compass, unwavering commitment to truth and justice, and a deep sense of compassion and hope. He embodies the ideals of heroism. He will not give up, he will not rest until he defeats his foes. Right from the first scene, everyone was smacking him left and right throughout the movie. This Superman seemed to get hurt. He loses more than he wins, and no one is scared of Superman. Funny thing is, every time Superman gets into trouble, which is more than you would like to see, he whistles and Krypto comes to his rescue, and they could have very well named this movie Krypto because he had better scenes too. The Clark Kent of this movie was more like Peter Parker, who is the only person who can get the interview of Superman and not Lois Lane. The alter ego of Superman wasn't used at all in this movie. The Superman of this movie in that space suit acted more like Star-Lord. He was fidgety, he was unsure about himself, he was making faces, wanted to be funny. The calmness, still look, seriousness, the aura of godlike character was totally missing. He never looked like Superman. He was just another strong superhero in the blue suit. I will not fault the actor. I think the director failed him. In the race of competing with MCU and in the desire of overshadowing the previous versions, this movie lacked logic, realism, soul, and emotion. Not even in a single frame the audience felt connected with the characters. Superman, who is a larger than character, was dragged down to become like every other minor superhero. There wasn't any memorable dialogue, memorable scene. The reveal of Ultraman's true identity was comical. DC just completely lost its plot. In fact, there wasn't any plot, wasn't any storyline. It was all about Lex Luthor wanting to kill Superman. That's it. This is probably final nail in the coffin. DC can never compete against MCU. I won't be surprised if future DCU projects fail because I think James Gunn is incapable of handling big comic book characters like Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash. He's good with minor characters like Star-Lord, Peacemaker, but not the big ones. I think the end of DCU is near and another reboot is waiting to happen. Maybe next time they can do better, more in line with Superman, the animated series. Hopefully.